Hello, sports fans. Welcome to the Oklahoma Sports Report, OU Football Edition. I'm Rick Heath. With me, Mark Rogers. And Mark, we are in the new T&W Tire Studio. And this is part of the studio right here that we're in. There's other parts of it we'll be happening, but thanks to T&W Tire, your friends Greg and the guys over there, they're sponsoring the studio, and we're in a new studio, and I am looking forward to doing shows from here with all the wonderful accoutrements here from the studio.
Greg and T&W Tire, they got their first T&W Tire Lock of the Week this week. It's Purdue, the Boilermakers.
Aha! Boy,
Minus 17.
Minus, who are
Barry
they playing?
Odom, Purdue. They're playing a team that they need to beat by 17. So that tells you everything that Purdue's favored by 17.
Who are they playing that they're going to be favored by 17?
Let me check my handy-dandy lock calculator right here.
Which, OU is favored by 35 against Illinois.
Ball State, Purdue.
Ball State. Well, I can understand Ball State there. That's kind of like, that's down the street from Illinois State.
That's right. They get the Ball State
close.
Cardinals and the Illinois State Redbirds.
Yes, but anyway, it's game time. It is game week. We're here in our new T&W Tire Studio talking game week for OU against the Illinois State Redbirds, and I, for one, am excited for the season to get started.
Yeah, I am too. There's been a lot of talk and a lot of expectations for this Oklahoma team that's been kind of building throughout the summer and ready to go, and we got a little bit of an appetizer before the main course comes down in Michigan.
Well, I'll tell you what, Illinois State Redbirds are pretty good. I mean, for their conference and what they do it well. Now, is this a step up? Of course it's a step up playing OU in OU's field, but it's still, this is not just a rollover. I mean, it's going to be probably should be a comfortable win for OU if they play well, but it's not going to be one of those name your score 49-0 before half.
Well, let's see. I don't know. OU's a big favorite. I mean, I expect OU to roll and do about what they want to in this game. Illinois State, I think they won 9 games last year in the Missouri Valley, which is a pretty competitive conference, and won AA. But this is a game that OU should look really good on both sides of the ball.
Well, and that's the thing that we're looking at is how they're going to do it, and we'll be talking about that in the second segment. But right now, I'm just excited that it's game week. And we're in a new T&W Tire Studio doing the show, and we'll be doing it several times this year from T&W Tire Studio. And I am not only excited for the football season to start, but excited here for T&W Tire Studio. Hey, we'll be right back with more on the OU Sports Report right after this.
The Garage is more than just a place to fix up the classic car. It's also a place to watch an instant classic. Or write the next great classic rock song. The Garage, the place to keep it classic.
Oh man, dude, I really wish I could make that. It's National No Pants Day, and that'd be kind of inappropriate.
We actually just had gas station sushi, and you just don't want to chance that.
We're gonna be running tornado drills all day.
I have tickets to see Kenny Rogers. He's what?
Tornado drill.
Your friends are tired of coming up with excuses. Two Fellas Moving Company, saving friendships since 1996.
Wonderfolk Spirits distilled out of Guthrie, Oklahoma. Great line of spirits. They have Wonderfolk Gin, Wonderfolk vodka, and Old Moses bourbon. All of these are quality products, and they're distilled right here in Oklahoma. So support Oklahoma business. Ask your favorite restaurant or bar to carry Wonderfolk Spirits. Hi, friends. Did you know that over 80 million men and women suffer from hair loss? Well, now there's help. Dr. Victoria Johnson and her staff at Laser Light Skin Clinic are introducing a revolutionary laser hair loss treatment called Alma TED. Alma TED uses a proprietary laser that will help stop hair loss and promote growth. For more information, give Dr. Victoria Johnson and her staff at Laser Light a call and stop hair loss today.
You are the most beautiful creation under the sun. Daily Informations. You are going to make Table 14 so happy. And you are being taken away. All right. At Neighborhood Jam, you deserve breakfast as beautiful as you. So start the day right with scratch-made favorites, morning or midday, every day. Treat yourself to Neighborhood Jam. You're gonna taste just as good tomorrow.
Mark, one of our good friends, T&W Tire, is sponsoring us this year. Talk to us about T&W Tire.
Well, we love T&W Tire. They're the sports animal locks of the week, so you're always going to get some good advice on that. T&W Tire started off in Oklahoma in the 80s with 5 locations, and they've grown to 30 locations that are all across the Southwest, Midwest part of the United States. So if you need tires for a fleet of vehicles, that's what they really specialize in. They do a great job with that. But T&W is more than just tires. If your car has the check engine light on, you can roll in there, oil change, they do it all. They'll usually give you a diagnostic exam for free when you go in there. So check them out, man. They do great customer service. Love the guys at the location on 25 North Council Road over there, but they've got locations all over. As we said, great family-owned business.
And welcome back, Oklahoma Sports Report OU football show. Exciting here to be in our T&W Tire Studio. T&W Tire, one of our favorite sponsors here.
Yeah, 40 years in business, family business, locally owned and operated right here in Oklahoma. And they're more than just tires. If you need tires for a fleet, a group of vehicles, they can provide that. But if you need individual tires or worked on your car, you can do it. So we love T&W Tire locations all across the southwest part of the United States.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of it. I mean, if you're traveling and if you're going around the southwest part of you can find T&W Tire and they can take care of you out on the road if happens.
Yeah, that's right.
So that's the good thing about having T&W Tire in your phone. If you get broke down on the side of the road, they can come find you and fix you. So, and they fixed us up with a new studio here, and we certainly appreciate it. Okay, let's talk serious business. Serious business, Mark. Scoring for OU. All right, you said you think that they might roll pretty good. All right, let's talk a little bit about the offense. Much improved, should be.
Right.
Because they can't be any worse than how they started last year. Now, the first 2 games last year wasn't too bad, but after that, it went downhill quickly. But, okay, John Mateer's here. Ben Arbuckle in his new offense. Last year, Mateer had over 40 touchdowns, or had 40 touchdowns, had over 3,500 yards passing. What are you looking at this year? I mean, what's a realistic number here? I mean, he's changing. He's going up in class, as I say, in horse racing. I mean, obviously going to the SEC. So, I mean, 3,500 yards passing is quite an accomplishment. Over under on that this coming year.
Under.
I got the unders on that.
Yeah,
too.
I think you have to have the under, and I think there's going to be a balance. Oklahoma's got a great defense, right? I mean, maybe great might be pushing it a little bit here, but the defense is the strength of the team going into the year. And so John Mateer at Washington State, they didn't really worry about the defense. I mean, Ben Arbuckle in the air raid was going up and down the field. And so there's going to have to be some game management, some clock management with the offense this year. So I think there's going to be a little less tempo and a little less pace to the offense. But that doesn't mean it can't be successful. And so I think that, you look at the numbers that Mateer had last year, those numbers are going to go down statistically, I think, but that doesn't mean that they can't be very effective on offense.
And they won't be just as effective because of how they spread it out. And that's the next question I have for you. I mean, last year was 60-40 almost passing because they were behind a lot, having to pass and catch up and all that. But this year, I mean, it could be 40-60. It could be, 40% passing, 60% running, depending on the game. Or it could be back to 60-40, depending on the opponent. But right now, 50-50 would be a very good balance for OU's offense.
I'm going to say that it's going to be over 50% pass. And I think that one of the reasons would be is that you've invested a lot in John Mateer, and you don't want him in the middle of the field against an SEC defense. You like to keep him in the pocket. You like to keep him in that short passing game, making quick reads and getting the ball into the hands of players that can move in the open field. And so I think that the OU offensive line, I expect to be quite a bit better than it was a year ago. And so I think that the running backs are a strength of the team. They've got depth in that running back room. Wide receiver is an area in which they've got to prove some things. So I think that you're going to look at an offense that has a lot of quick reads, and I think will be very balanced. I don't think it's going to be out of kilter, but I think that it's going to be probably a little more pass.
So let's talk a little bit more about, I'm wanting to dig into the weeds here about numbers here. 600 yards. He had 800 yards something last year. Mateer did 800 yards rushing. 600 over under on that. I mean, under that. What do you think?
Well, I think, again, I go under 800. 800 yards rushing for a quarterback in the SEC.
That was last year, yeah.
We're talking Jaden Daniels territory right there.
Yeah.
He ran for over 1,000 and threw for over 4, I think, at LSU that one season. So those are the most prolific numbers that we've seen in the SEC at the quarterback position from a run-pass guy, I would think. So I think you do, on offense, what helps set up your defense to win games, And the OU offense, or the OU schedule this year, they're not going up against some of the quarterbacks that they did last year. Jaden Milroe had more experience, but they get Ty Simpson this year at Alabama. They get Austin Simmons from Ole Miss instead of Jackson Dart. And so I think that if I'm Brent Venables and I'm the defensive coordinator, head coach of this team, I want my defense to win me games, and I want the offense to do what it takes.
I got some good news this week.
All right, what's that?
I got good news. Last week we talked about Kevin Wilson.
Yeah.
I found out from talking to Kevin Wilson that he will be involved in game activities.
Yeah.
He will be in the press box, and he will be in Brent's ear, and Brent will be in his ear talking about situations on the field.
Yeah, I think
that's great.
I really do.
Great.
I think that's good news. We learned also that Ben Arbuckle is going to be on the field as the offensive coordinator, and that if that's where he prefers to be, I think that's where it should
I like
be.
that. I like when they, John Mateer comes off he look him in the eye.
Yeah.
See what he is. See if he's settled. See if he looks good. See if he's confident. And they've been together 2 years. He knows him well. He knows where he needs to be. I like that for Ben Marbo.
Yeah, I agree.
Hey, I also like our new studio.
Yeah.
T&W Tire Studio here, courtesy of T&W Tire, good friends there. Great place here to come do our show. And we're looking forward to having more shows from here and more games to talk about. We'll be right back talking defense right after this.
The garage is more than just a place to fix up the classic car. It's also a place to watch an instant classic. Or write the next great classic rock song. The garage, the place to keep it classic.
Charles, I do quite enjoy Oklahoma, but I do declare I miss the pub.
Oh, Michael, you silly muppet. Why don't we just go to Pub W? You plonker. Pub W. It's Oklahoma's pub with all your favorites. Fish and chips, pigs in a blanket, chili lime chicken salad, and of course, whiskey.
You said whiskey, my good man.
Indeed I did. Pub W.
Oklahoma's pub.
Mark, one of our good friends, T&W Tire, is sponsoring us this year. Talk to us about T&W Tire.
Well, we love T&W Tire. They're the sports animal locks of the week, so you're always going to get some good advice on that. T&W Tire started off in Oklahoma in the 80s with 5 locations, and they've grown to 30 locations that are all across the Southwest, the Midwest part of the United States. So if you need tires for a fleet of vehicles, that's what they really specialize in. They do a great job with that. But T&W is more than just tires. If your car has the check engine light on, you can roll in there, oil change, they do it all. They'll usually give you a diagnostic exam for free when you go in there. So check them out, man. They do great customer service. Love the guys at the location on 25 North Council Road over there, but they've got locations all over. So we said, great family-owned business.
And welcome back, Oklahoma Sports Report OU Football Edition from T&W Tire Studio. Mark Rogers, Rick Heath, talking to you. Now, I said defense, would come back and talk defense. I got one more question for you. You were talking about one of the strengths of the team on the offense side is the running backs. Okay, I don't think there's going to be a 1,000-yard running back. I don't see a 1,000-yard running back on the team. But do they have 2 that are going to get 1,000 yards?
Two running backs that get 1,000 yards? You said you don't see 1, but you're going to see 2.
No. I'm talking 2 of them combined to over 1,000 yards.
I think Jaden Ott can be a 1,000-yard back. I mean, he has been before in his career. And so I know that they have gone through a little bit of a health issue with him in the preseason camp. But they didn't pay a lot of money for him to come here to be third team. So if he has the ability that he did when he played at Cal 2 years ago, he's got a chance. And he comes in highly regarded. I mean, Phil Steele had him as first team all SEC running back. That's highly regarded in this league.
And that I give him full credit. I mean, he's coming in.
It's only 90 yards a game. I mean, that's so.
I still, the way the SEC is, and the yards are hard to come by. So I'm thinking, okay, if Ott gets 700 and Barnes gets 500, that kind of thing. Because I think they're going to be playing more than one running back.
They got a lot of mouths. They got a lot of mouths to feed there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go out on a limb right now, and I'm gonna tell you that I think that Ott will be a 1,000-yard rusher.
Excellent. I like the sound of that, because if he is, OU will be a lot better off.
Hey, if he's third team on the depth chart, then they made a major mistake in evaluation. Right? No, because I'm serious. You have a room with talented players like that, and a guy that they've recruited, Torrey Blaylock, that's now on the depth chart listed at number 2.
Yeah.
There's no need to go spend a bunch of money to bring a guy in to a place where you don't want to upset the players on your roster, too.
Well, I mean, you got the 5-star sitting on, in 4th string, may not even get to play. That's going to be a tough thing to juggle. So, hey, all that will remain to be worked out, and we'll look for at least a hint of it on this Saturday. All right, let's talk defense. Strength of the team, obviously. Brent Venables is so confident in his team that he's made himself head defensive coordinator. That's a good news, because he is an excellent defensive coordinator. It also brought up about Kevin Wilson helping out. That's the one weakness. So now we're having to balance, or OU's having to balance, and Brent's having to balance, him being defensive coordinator and still making all the decisions on the field. To me, that's the biggest question mark going into this year.
Yeah, I think being a head coach is important. I mean, you can delegate somebody to do that, but you still have to be the guy talking to the official. You still have to be the guy managing the different areas of the team. I mean, you really, ideally, as a head coach, it's like, hey, you've got to help baking the pie or the cake, and you take it out of the oven, and then really you just master the distribution of it. So I mean, he has got to have I think supreme focus and confidence going into this season in that head coaching role. And I mean, it's not to me it's not the right way to run a team, but we'll see if they can get by with it.
This will be Brent Venables' Waterloo year. Mm-hmm. If he does it well and they have a good season, he continues to be the OU coach. If he doesn't do it well and they don't have a good season, we'll have a new head coach next year.
Well, Zach Alley did a nice job. I mean, and he and Brent, I think, were really on the same page. And the OU defense took a big step up last year with the delegation of that responsibility. So I think that, Brent calling his own plays on defense shows that there's a little bit of pressure.
You bet. And he wants to go out, and he's willing to step up and put himself on the line.
Yeah.
So I don't have a problem with that. Speaking on the line, get that defensive line. Okay. Defensive line strength of the defense. Right now, you're looking at least one SEC-type performer on defensive end. How about the inside guys? I mean, is there enough, and Dominic Williams and the rest of the gentlemen, Jaden Jackson, all those guys, to be in that top tier, 1, 2, second team, first team SEC?
David Stone, Grayson Halton. I just saw David Pollock on a podcast with Scott Van Pelt. He said that Oklahoma's got the best defensive line in the country. I mean, so that includes the edge positions with R. Mason Thomas, who came up with a lot of big plays last year. Didn't have a high volume of those, but they seemed to come at the right time in games in the fourth quarter. So I think he needs to up his every down production there. Yeah. But they've got depth across the board. I don't know. I mean, it doesn't look like some of those Georgia teams from a couple of years ago that just kept putting guys in the first round of the NFL draft. But I think that this defensive line, Dominic Williams is the leader, but they definitely have strength in numbers up front.
And that's going to be the key right now is be able to get those guys in there and keep them fresh, keep pressure, because Brent's defense is predicated on getting front pressure without involving linebackers. And we'll talk about the linebackers when we come back. But hey, we are in our new T&W Tire Studio here during the Oklahoma Sports Report. Mark Rogers, Rick Heath, and we'll be right back after this. And welcome back. Oklahoma Sports Report, Mark Rogers, Rick Heath, in our T&W Tire Studios. And speaking of T&W Tire, Mark?
Yeah, locations all across the Southwest, and they've been in business around here. Oklahoma owned and operated for the past 35 years, and they specialize in helping fleet vehicles, but they also can help the individual when it comes to oil changes. You get your check engine light on, they can do a diagnostic for you and take great care of you.
I tell you what, there's nothing more comforting than be able to send your wife to T&W Tire, knowing that they will take care of her and you won't hear back about it at all. So if you have any questions, send your wife. They'll take care of it, and you will get glowing reports, believe me, from your wife. Okay, speaking of glowing reports, defensive line's been lauded. Linebackers, they're still good, but maybe not quite upper echelon SEC, maybe mid-tier. in the SEC right now, as far as we know?
Well, it depends on how you want to classify the linebackers. Like a strong safety can be considered a linebacker. The cheetah can be considered a linebacker. And I think they're going to be fairly good at those positions. You've got a couple of guys like Reggie Powers that I think is going to get some more time this year. Has got a chance to be
Michael Boganowski.
Pretty good there. Michael Boganowski is at the strong safety position. I think he will get some time. Robert Spears-Jennings is one of the most impressive players that's returning on the defense at those positions. So those guys are going to be, going to be pretty good.
Kendall Daniels, I mean, he's coming in.
That's another big guy. I mean,
he's huge.
He struggled last year at Oklahoma State. Some lost his confidence maybe a little bit
last year at Oklahoma State.
And I think you're hoping that athletic ability can find a spot in the Oklahoma defense.
Yeah, turn him loose and let him go be a defensive player. Hopefully that'll happen.
Right.
Hopefully that'll happen. Let's talk game. Illinois State Redbirds come in 35-point underdog.
Yeah.
For the betting public out there, take the under.
Okay.
On the first half.
Okay. I kind of like that. I mean, I think that Oklahoma is going to put a lot of emphasis in on the defensive side of the ball. It's a defensive team. You want the defense to look good. So I don't think you're going to see the defense give up cheap touchdowns late in the game. It would be a real problem, I think, if the offense struggles. I mean, it's not going to look very good. I think 35 points is a bunch in a game like this, but I expect OU to cover. And I think you're going to be kind of flirting on that over-under total. It's in the 50s. I mean, I'd say I could see Oklahoma scoring 49. I don't see Illinois State scoring more than 10. I mean, so I feel pretty comfortable. You could hit an under with OU winning the game.
And here's the question I have for you, because you pay more attention to this than I do lately, is that the over and under is 60.
60,
okay?
yeah.
All right, and they're giving 35. So that means 25 is coming from Illinois State.
Right.
So that's a lot of scoring against a good defense. I don't see that.
Well, but let's see. 49-10.
Yeah.
Something like that. That's a 39-point victory.
Yeah.
And a one point under the. So I don't know that's necessarily expecting Illinois State to get to 25. That would be a tall. That's going to be a tall task for them. So I think the score probably Vegas has it. Somewhere in that neighborhood of 42-14, something like that.
I got it 42-21.
Okay.
So, and I don't think the only iffy part of there's the 21.
Right.
Because I don't know that Illinois State can get that. The Illinois State's got a good team. For what they do, they're solid, they're well coached. They know what their identity is. They're going to play to it. They've been practicing all year for this game. Mm-hmm. Because this can be their game, and they know it. Now, they don't expect to win, but they do want to show well. And so they've been doing all the things they need to do to have their best game already coming this Saturday. So I think Illinois State will look good, and that's why I say take the under on the first half, because they played Iowa last year and it was 6-0. Now, that doesn't mean Iowa's offense was horrible.
Right.
But they had a good defense. They had a really strong defense. So I still think that OU covers the game, but I think it's going to be a slow starting type game.
Well, it's a good point to bring that up. Iowa transitioned from a different offensive coordinator to a new offensive coordinator last year, and it took them some time to get going. I mean, they did better at the end of the season, but Iowa was undergoing some bad times on offense.
Yeah.
So the fact that Illinois State was able to hold them down in the first half, good point.
But I look at John McTeer ends up 225, 230 passing.
All right.
Maybe 50, 60 yards rushing. Running backs are going to get over 100 yards rushing. I look at that right there. And I think they hold Illinois, the defense holds Illinois State to, like you said, a modest amount scoring. Maybe they get a cheap one on a turnover or something like that. And to me, that is just as important as scoring and defense is how does OU play? Do they play clean? No penalties, no fumbles, no turnovers on their part, and they're all lined up, and there's no procedure penalties. There's no silly holding penalties like we've seen in the past. So if all that happens, to me, that's almost as successful as saying scoring 50, 60 points.
Yeah, Oklahoma blew out Temple last year, but they didn't have very many impressive offensive numbers in that game. Defense helped a lot, and special teams.
They didn't have very many third down conversions.
Yeah, no, special teams helped a lot in that game. So that's a key, something to look forward to, is that you want to see a clean sheet. I agree with that. that.
To me, that's almost as important as how much they score and how John Material. You got to look good. You got to look sharp. They've been practicing all this time. Look good, look sharp, and be ready for Michigan. And if you come out of this without any major injuries, hey, bring on Big Blue.
I'm ready.
There you go. Hey, speaking of bring on, hey, we're bringing on the T&W Tire Studio here for our show, and we appreciate T&W Tire for providing us with the studio, guys. My 42-21, and you are?
I'll go 49-10.
49-10. There we go. You got it. Go to the window. Win money this weekend. All right, we'll see you next week.
Only one of us is winning money on that. We're on different sides.
All right, see you next week.